Good evening, folks. The last message, it's now middle of the night, and I'd like to share with you a short message about the coming to be of life out of dead chemicals. There's a lot of controversy. Did life emerge from dead chemicals, dead materials, into living cells as we know them? Well, no. One reason for that is what I'm going to show you now is this. I hope you can see it. I'll do it like this and zoom out, and on one point it will show you clearly. This is chemistry, folks. This is chemistry. This is a chemical reaction. Component A with component B ends up in a chemical reaction to component C and D. Well, this is basic chemistry, and this is ruling actually why life cannot exist out of chemicals. These little a, b, and c, and d are the numbers in the stoichiometric numbers in which a component is needed to make the reaction possible. I mean, suppose that this is the formation of water, then you need 2 H, 2 hydrogen, and 1 B, 1 molecule of atom of oxygen, and then you get 1 water, and then this is nothing. So in the case of formation of water, then the little a is 2, little b is 1, and the little c is also 1, and this is 0, so it doesn't exist. Okay, we're not talking about the formation of water, but to give you an impression where those symbols are for. Well, now we're looking at the concentrations of these components, A, B, C, and D. And what you can derive is that there is a constant, you can define a constant. And that this formula, the constant is C to the power of C to little c, D times D to the power of little d, divided by A to the power of little a times B to the power of little b. That's a constant. This is very known in the chemistry world. Well, suppose that in this case component A is amino acids with an R1 as a group, a residual group, and B is amino acid 2 with residual group 2. Well, this is to form a protein, you need to react amino acids with each other to form peptide bonds. Well, this happened according to this. This is the amino part, this is the acid part, and the amino and the acid part, they react to each other into a amino acid bond type, like this. These react. And released is water during that process. Well, this formula tells us that this reaction is not possible in a very watery environment, because water is in a very high amount present in oceans. That's why I said oceans underneath it. So these brackets around the capital letters represent capital letter C is in brackets is the concentration of C. So these are concentrations in this formula. But you can see that in this case D is water. So if the concentration of D is large, then it drives, if this is a big amount, like in oceans, it drives the reaction in that direction, in the reaction of hydrolyzing peptide bonds, protein bonds. So actually, where there is a lot of water, then peptide bonds, proteins cannot form. Well, this is just an example. A large amount of water makes it impossible for proteins to form in a spontaneous process, which is required for life emerging out of chemicals. This exactly the same principle deals also with the formation of genetic information, DNA, on a spontaneous basis. So also DNA and RNA cannot be formed in a spontaneous process. That's all governed by this reaction science, chemical reaction science, and this is real. This is factual, scientific, correct. And since it is assumed that building blocks like amino acids and like DNA is formed in the prebiotic soup, I'm sorry, folks. The science tells us that this is not scientifically true. So proteins and DNA cannot, because it's the same type of reaction. Also DNA, desoxyribonucleic acid, consists of phosphate groups linked together with ribose sugar molecules, and that is linked to the bases, guanine, adenine, thymine, and something. All those four base type of things. But the phosphate and the riboses are linked together also by the same type of reaction where water is released. And wherever water is released, then this is happening. You cannot prevent it, especially not supposedly 3.8 billion years ago. Those billion years are not valid. Why not? Because the Earth was, according to this hypothesis, which is unproven still, the Earth was simply too hot. And if it's too hot, it's driving this mechanism towards the deterioration of proteins and not the formation of proteins. Because there's a lot of water which vigorously shakes thermodynamically the whole process and shakes it apart. It's breaking it apart. So this process is not possible, scientifically spoken. The formation of peptides, the formation of enzymes, the formation of proteins in a prebiotic soup, a supposedly prebiotic soup, is impossible. The same as that the formation of DNA is scientifically impossible because it's governed by the same principle, chemical principles. I'm sorry, folks, for you, but I happen to be a chemist. I happen to be educated as a chemist, and this is just a part of it. So this is what I wanted to share with you. Thanks for watching, and yeah, see you next time. Hasta la basta.